Look at that. So, hi. I'm sat by a big tree, a very big tree indeed, as you can see. And I'm trying to make a peace with where I'm sat, even though there's people passing. I actually think I'm about to go and move. But there's always going to be people passing. But even though there's people passing and walking over and milling through, I'm just like, my tree. I'm going to go to another tree and buy another tree. And this one's better, but it's got there's a thingy sticking into my back, and I'm trying to make peace, full stop, period. I'm trying to make peace with the fact that part of being human is having other people see you. What a lesson, but these trees are really big, and yeah, just like thinking a little less about where I am and the discomfort of it and just looking up at the tree makes me feel better. Immediately. It's so green, it's so amazing. And I've got one of those like little 8-ounce chai lattes that they only really sell in like bougie coffee shops, but like my favorite kind of ones. But it was showing at 4, so I couldn't sit there. If you're seeing this, then that is such a huge thing for me. And I'm so proud of myself for that, if you're seeing this. Yeah. Now I'm looking at that tree and I'm like, nah, that's the one. Like, that's the right tree. I just had a therapy healing session. It was my first, and it was big. And I think it's so often the case with these things is you come looking for answers and you get questions. You get more when you wanted to put a lid on it, and you realize, oh, I was never supposed to put a lid on this. And the thing I was trying to put a lid on is actually a lot bigger than I thought. There's a lot more going on than I thought there was. That is difficult, and there are 2 things I'm trying to trust in this, and to trust more generally in, is the open-endedness of it, of everything. Because so often with my writing, with my being, with everything, I have a tendency to try and put, this is so good, I have a tendency to try and put a full stop and stake a line and say, yep, this thing, I've sorted this thing now. I do it every single journal entry I write. I'm like, we have to get to the conclusion, but that's not life. And she said this to me. You have to make peace with the ... I have to make peace with my becoming. I have to make peace with the fact that there are no answers, that this is a bigger process than maybe I had perceived it to be, and that isn't condemnation, that's liberation. It's not condemnation, it's liberation. You know, part of me was just like, I'm so fucking tired. I'm so tired. And I have come so far. And to have someone acknowledge that you are carrying a lot of trauma, that you have experienced a lot of, and that there is a lot of really squirrel. he's like flapping his tail in such a funny way. That there's a lot of trauma, and a lot of it is really fucking heavy, and you can't unheavy it. Which, you know, I definitely can spiritual bypass, but it makes me feel like every happy moment was just spiritual bypassing, and it wasn't. It was just, the squirrel is so funny. It was just the clouds clearing and the sun shining through. And there's nothing false about that. There's nothing wrong about playing and being light and feeling free, even when you are traumatized, and when you've been through a lot of really heavy stuff, and when you're still carrying more of that than perhaps you thought you were. But the acknowledgement and the fact that I was brought to this session at this point in time, at this point in my journey and in my life, is proof that I'm ready, and that I don't just have to have these all-consuming moments that seem so intense and pivotal, like something piercing through the fog. I can have sunny days. I can have a sunny life. I can live in the sun and play in the sun, and it won't have to feel like escape or performance, or I don't think, I feel like something just fell on me. Ooh. Hello. Oh my god, guys. Do you see him? He's looking down at me. Are you coming down? Are you coming down? He'll be coming down the mountain when he comes. As I was saying, yes, it means I'm ready, and the bigness of it, the acknowledgement of the bigness of it, creates space. And what I'm trying to do, where are you, little guy, is create that same space myself. And I left feeling very tender, I left feeling very naked and raw and exposed, and that is when I have to say to myself, there's space for this. I'm holding space for you here. We can sit, and we don't have to frantically write down everything that's happened and force a conclusion on our becoming, because we're so young. I am so young. She kept saying, well, she didn't keep saying, but said it once. It's just owning the I of it. Because I say you, and I say we, and I say one, and I intellectualize and I separate, but it's like, I am so young. I am so young, and I have so much to grow, and the fact that I feel so grown already is only proof of how much further I can go. The fact that I feel so light already is proof that there's more lightness on the other side. And there is no other side. It's like, I don't know. It's like, this is a, sorry, I really like this leaf. This is, oh, it's a whole stick of leaves. This is a life in the making, and you don't rush life. But, which is why I love to record. I just don't want to stake down a wall or say, this is it. This is it, I'm done. I like going, look at that. Autumn is my favorite season. And that can be true, and I can be processing a lot of really heavy shit, but with every heavy thing that is acknowledged, I take another step towards the light. Because I just didn't know. I was so used to darkness that I didn't know I was there. And people are spilling, school children are spilling out, so I am going to go somewhere quieter now, because they are loud and they are secondary school students, and secondary school is traumatizing. Yeah, if you're ever telling yourself that anything that you feel is wrong or like weird or unjustified or extreme, or if someone else is ever telling you that, or if someone is asking you why do you feel this, or if you're pondering whether there even is a why for what you feel, there always is. And it's always deeper than you think, and it's always more than you think, but it's not your job to dig it up. It's all gonna alchemize. It's all gonna alchemize so bloody naturally. It will happen naturally and organically, and I promise you, because you are natural and organic. You're not like a test subject or an object of anybody else's scrutiny or your own. You're not a game, you're not a puzzle, you're not a riddle. It's all for you. And that's why I think healing is such a beautiful thing, because it's all for you, and you wouldn't be made aware of anything you weren't ready to be made aware of, if you are treating yourself so softly and so tenderly, like the organic, natural, beautiful organism that you are. Yeah, I just hope it felt so much bigger, and it felt like so much space was made, and it felt like an act of witnessing when I hadn't really been witnessed, in places that I hadn't been witnessed, in places that I didn't feel very ready to be witnessed, but I know that I was. So I hope that you can feel seen. I hope that someone can see you in spaces that you're not used to being seen. And I hope that you can feel heard and loved. And I hope that in that experience, a little bit of space frees up and you feel safe enough to inhabit a little bit more of your body than you did before. That you feel a little bit lighter each day, you feel a little bit freer, because each day you are a little bit freer. And what was said to me, which really moved me to tears, and I think that you might need to hear it too, is just that you are doing so well. It's all real and it's really big, but you're doing so well. You're doing such a good job every day in waking up and in treating yourself with softness and just fucking giving a crack at life. It's such a brave thing to do. So don't worry about the full stop. There is no full stop to be drawn. There's no conclusion to be reached. And to let yourself be light, to let yourself have fun, and to tune in with yourself and say, what do I need now, is never ever in vain. Never. It's never in vain, and it's never wrong or false, because you are so bloody worthy of that. So let's open instead of contracting. Let's let the space and the light enter where we want to be afraid. Let's say to the fear, it's okay, I see you and I have space for you and I love you too. And that's all. There's nothing you need to be doing that you're not doing. It's all unfolding so perfectly. It's just much bigger than you think. Like this tree. Look at that. You think that tried to force a conclusion on its growth? You think that got this yay high and said, no, I'm done now, I want to be done now? No, look at everything it had to do. Look at everything it was going to become. It had to be aware of its depths to get up there. And that's what I'm learning. That's what I'm learning. And just to be open and conclusionless. And I'm so fucking young. I'm so young. I'm just beginning. Why would you want to force a conclusion on life? Why would you want to force a conclusion on magic? Don't turn your magic into a 20,000 word essay. I love you so much. Look at me. I love you so much. I cherish you so deeply. And I'm not scared of any of you. There's nothing in you to be scared of. You're just holding some heavy shit. Let's all drop the bags and sit by a tree and sing a little song. Autumn is so beautiful. And no amount of trauma is gonna stop me from loving autumn. And chai lattes. I'll probably go get another drink after this. And that's like a big deal for me. So yeah, you're so worthy and you're so lovely, and let yourself be.